On a larger scale, the project was looking at establishing laws and policies to support the use of traditional wealth items as part of the formal economy, as I've been talking about, and to strengthen the foundations of the traditional economy within culturally appropriate frameworks with a view to stimulating income generation within local populations. So at the most basic level, we were trying to encourage people involved in the production of various forms of traditional wealth to continue producing this wealth, encourage people primarily involved in the cash economy, like myself, to access traditional valuables and use them for ceremonial activities, and to facilitate the exchange of cash and traditional wealth items between the informal and formal economic sectors, both to generate income for people involved in the traditional sphere and encourage the revival of traditional practice among those involved in the cash economy. As we undertook the project, we began to realize that we needed a broader focus. We were talking about these things, but at the same time, the cultural heritage sector was sort of a ghetto within national development policies, which were still talking about economic growth, blah, 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 investment. You know the jargon. The need to address the broader national development agenda led to a decision to partner with the National Council of Chiefs, which is a constitutional body, and to cement a relationship with various politicians who were supportive. This partnership was to become a key strategic alliance, eventually leading the government to declare the year 2007 as the year of the traditional economy. And as part of this year of the traditional economy, we were able to get all the people working in various government departments and NGOs together with traditional practitioners to talk about how do we use our traditional culture or our cultures in policies, development policies, in health and education, in governance, in various other, in everything we talk about when we talk about development of a nation. One of the first steps was an action plan developed, which talked about the importance of our land, which was being leased out and becoming alienated from traditional use, payment for government services, which I talked about already, local trade between islands using revitalizing the sailing canoe tradition. And one of the most important was the need to develop homegrown statistical indicators, to develop and to measure and quantify economic activity, including traditional economic activity, and of course well-being and quality of life. Because at this stage we only had GDP as a measure, which did not capture anything I'm talking about, and therefore could not influence policy. One of the most important aims which we continue to strategize towards achieving is to promote production and consumption of traditional foods and to substitute imported foods for local foods. Another major initiative, and probably one of the most important, as you'll see, I'm coming to it, was to look back at the land situation and the situation with the alienation of land, continuing alienation of land from customary control. And this is despite constitutional provisions which said that it had to land maintains itself under customary tenure. I'm trying to speed up for the time here. So one of the key strategies that evolved was linking the cultural institution with a range of stakeholders. NGOs who came together to establish an advocacy coalition for economics. The chiefs were the key stakeholder partner in all of this, as well as National Council of Chiefs, National Council of Women, National Youth Council. And from the beginning of 2007, we had awareness activities continually going on, mainly in the urban areas, because when you went to traditional areas and did this awareness, they said, yes, well, we've been doing this all this time. What are you talking about? The initial success of this project stemmed from the fact that it was able to articulate a very populist view and encourage broader political support, because everyone knew the value of the land, the food, the traditions, and everyone talked about that. It also built on existing practice, For example, school fees were already being paid in certain schools using food items. And so we were able to just expand existing programs. It also capitalized on popular discontent with a lot of government development policies, especially in relation to leasing of land. And then, riding on the back of these concerns, we built these strategic alliances I was talking about. And finally, we were talking about preserving identity in the face of globalizing pressures, which was a discourse which we were familiar with from our independence struggle. Vanuatu only became independent in 1980. And prior to that, there was a strong independence movement to get independence. And this movement was echoed throughout the region around this time when the Pacific was becoming decolonized.